The time is just gone 9:23 a.m. as we continue with the broadcast this morning right here on Salam Media News and Views, and we are now going across to be joined by analyst, activist, and writer. We're joined by Ayesha Kajee, and we are talking about the visit of Abeer Zayyad to South Africa. Ayesha Kajee has met with Abeer Zayyad and also will be accompanying her on a number of her engagements while she is in South Africa. Sister Aisha, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jummah Mubarak to you and welcome.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jummah Mubarak to you as well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, wonderful that you're able to join us. And I know your passion for Al-Quds, for Masjid Al-Aqsa, Palestine, and having someone with the profile and the caliber of Abeer Zayyad coming to South Africa, alhamdulillah. I'm sure, you equally excited as we are here at Salam Media.
Absolutely. Sister Abeer has such a sort of storehouse of knowledge about Al-Quds and Al-Aqsa itself. As you know, she's an archaeologist and she has done a lot of work on the compound. She takes tours there regularly and she does it for free. And of course, she runs her own NGO as well. So she's both a philanthropist and an archaeologist, and she's just a stunning human being all round. And the opportunity for South Africans to meet with her and interact with her is one that shouldn't be missed.
Yes, and you accompanying her on some of these engagements, and I'm sure this is going to add just so much value. And particularly looking at, yes, talking about the history of Masjid al-Aqsa, the archaeological information, but also at the same time as a woman and the role of women, their responsibility in preserving Masjid al-Aqsa. And this is where Abeer Zayyad also stands out, and I'm sure you have witnessed that firsthand, Aisha.
Absolutely. You know, without the women, and especially the older Palestinian women who take it as their sacred duty to actually defend Masjid al-Aqsa and the complex itself, and they really are at the front line and have been for many, many years. They defend the complex. They know that when soldiers, stormtroopers come in, as we saw during Ramadan this year, that, there'll be a little more, perhaps a little more hesitant to attack women than they are to attack men. Though, of course, this year that certainly wasn't true. Many, many women got beaten up and attacked as well. But generally that is the case. And so they form the first line of defense there. They see themselves as the defenders of Al-Aqsa, and they are lionesses in this function of theirs. They stand in rows, literally facing down. They're unarmed and they're women, rows of women, and they face down gun-toting, heavily armed thugs, is the only expression I can use, who beat up the worshippers at Masjid al-Aqsa. And these women just are so staunch and strong in defending the complex. They see it as their sacred duty. So, yes, Mr. Abeer is among these women, and of course, very, very magnificent in this respect as well.
Yes, and also our very old ladies, our sisters, our mothers will also appreciate her visit because I've been looking at the program schedule where I've seen a number of ladies only events that will be hosted. The one in Polokwane, where there is a ladies' lunch, there's a ladies' afternoon in Lenasia, the one that where you will be involved in the PMB ladies fundraiser that you yourself will be involved in, and obviously culminating with some of the other highlights of her tour here, the Nakba rallies that are going to be taking place in Cape Town, her visit to Durban. So just so much is going to happen over the next few days.
Poor Sister Abeer's really got a very, very full schedule. Salam Media is working up pretty hard, but I think that, that's certainly to the advantage of the communities around the country who will want to interact with her and engage her. So she's going to be, as you've noted, in Johannesburg, in Polokwane, back in Lenasia, then going to a very early morning event on Thursday in Pietermaritzburg, spending most of the day there, and then going on to Durban, and from Durban on to Cape Town and PE as well. So yes, there are several events that are ladies only events, including the ones in Polokwane and Pietermaritzburg. And part of the reasoning behind this is that, to engage with Sister Abeer on a woman to woman basis, as a female activist, as a female philanthropist, and also, of course, in the roles of mother and daughter and sister. I think those are important roles to engage with as well. And that's precisely what we hope will happen at these events, inshallah.
Well, inshallah. And also, I think what is encouraging is we are not leaving our younger generation out, particularly those who are of school going age, because there are a number of addresses that are taking place at a few schools around the country, because we need to keep the case of Masjid al Aqsa alive. We need to keep the case of the plight of the Palestinians alive. And this is where we need to reach out to young people, and they can continue if we don't see the liberation of Masjid al-Aqsa in our lifetime, which inshallah we hope we do. Future generations, inshallah, will be inspired to see that liberation and freedom of the Palestinian people. And this is why it is so important to reach out to the younger generation, Aisha.
This is so true. It's incredible what a visit to Masjid al-Aqsa does for a young person. As you know, brother, and I was there recently, and there were several families traveling with me. And just yesterday, I was talking to one of the mothers, and she says, my sons, and her sons are aged 13 and 17 respectively. Because all they want to do is to go back there. They actually want to go and live in Palestine. They are so inspired by what they saw there and what they experienced there. So I think it's very, very important to have somebody of Sister Abeer's caliber interact with our youth as well. And although, as I said, she's a world-renowned archaeologist, she's a very simple, humble, down-to-earth person, and she can speak at the level of school children and university students when necessary. And this is one of the many benefits of having a guest like her hosted on a tour such as this one, that she is able to interact across various age groups, etc. I also want to encourage, Brother Inayat, want to encourage people, families, people of all ages to come out to the Salam Media studios on Monday evening, where we're going to be hosting a live interactive session with her. There is limited capacity available, so we're encouraging people to RSVP for that. But it will be a really interesting session because it will be an interactive in-studio audience, which will allow people to really get to grips with the topics that Sister Abeer is so au fait on.
Well, definitely. And, apart from just the schools, I see, I'm just looking at the program, basically catering for all round. We see that, the likes of a visit with the ulama bodies as well, the Jamiat in Fortsburg, the Gauteng Shura Council, the Jamiat in KwaZulu-Natal, the Muslim Judicial Council, and at the same time also reaching out to the various Palestine solidarity organizations in South Africa, the likes of Africa for Palestine, the Palestine Solidarity Alliance, the Palestinian Information Network, the one in Durban, the POA, with people like Nadia Mir. So, Alhamdulillah, this journey is going to encompass interaction with a cross section, even the likes of the ANC as well, a cross section of South African society, Muslim society, and inshallah, will be catering for each and every one.
Inshallah, we really want to get Sister Abeer's message across to as many South Africans as possible, Muslim and non-Muslim. But I think specifically regarding Al-Aqsa to Muslims, because as I've said before, Brother Inayat, Al-Aqsa is not a Palestinian space. It is a sacred space for every Muslim, and it is somewhere that every Muslim who can afford to should actually be going. It is our third Qibla, was our first Qibla, it's our third Haram, it's our forgotten Haram, really. And we should remember it and go there in droves to defend it, because that is exactly what the occupiers do not want us to do.
Well, Sister Aisha, once again, as I said, I hear it in your voice, and I'm sure you are energized, you are excited, and inshallah, we make dua that Abeer Zayyad touches down tomorrow afternoon in South Africa, safe and sound, so that we can then move ahead with the program over the next 2 weeks or so. But for now, we wish you well. Have yourself a wonderful Jummah ahead, inshallah, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair. And yes, very, very excited, as everybody should be, about Sister Abeer's visit.
Ayesha Kajee with us this morning, analyst, activist, and a writer. And with that, we're going to go for a break. We come back. We'll be joined by Al Baraka Bank of South Africa. We will be talking with Hamza Asmal.
Now